is negotiation, and how do you get more of what you want? Well, I'm Cindy Watson. I'm founder of Women on Purpose and the creator of the Art of Feminine Negotiation program. And I'm on a mission to reframe negotiation, how we look at it and how we do it. You see, I've been an attorney for over 30 years, and I recognize that we're all so deeply conditioned to buy into a definition of success that's based on this traditional, more masculine, really competitive model, that negotiation is all about toughness, and whoever speaks the loudest and the longest is who gets what they want. And I think it's why so many women in particular end up either shying away from negotiations because you don't want that conflict approach or don't believe you're good at it, or alternatively bring that energy like I did where you're overcompensating. Heck, my clients called me Barracuda for a long time, and I wore it like a badge of honor because I bought into that myth that negotiation was all about the bark and the bite. But you know what? One day I had an epiphany, because if you look at the key skills that make and mark the most effective negotiators throughout history, 5 out of 6 of those traits would be considered feminine or soft skills. That's right. And I'll tell you all about that in just 1 minute. Because what is negotiation? Really at its core, negotiation isn't about fighting. It's not about the conflict. It's not about the competition. It's not about the win or the lose. It's not a zero-sum game, the way that we've been conditioned and taught. In fact, negotiation is simply the art of persuasion, of influence. It's about listening and understanding. It's about cooperation. And in fact, when you come at negotiations from that approach, you're going to get better results, longer lasting relationships, better buy-in for your deals, and overall more positive impact, as well as getting more creative out-of-the-box solutions. Doesn't that sound like a better alternative to negotiating your life? And I say negotiating your life because all of life is a negotiation. That was another epiphany that I came to that led me on this path to create the Art of Feminine Negotiation program. Whether you're negotiating with your kids, your intimate partner, or those multi-million-dollar deals, or with suppliers, insurance companies, your local bank, it is all a form of negotiation. In fact, so is negotiating with yourself. Perhaps the most important negotiation of all is negotiating your mindset. How are you going to choose to show up in this world? So I hope you agree with me that learning the art of negotiation is probably one of the most important skill sets that you will ever learn. And particularly so because we're not taught it, or to the extent that we are taught it, everything we thought we knew about negotiation is wrong. So what is the Art of Feminine Negotiation? Well, it's a program I developed with a series of really simple systems and models that you can follow by tapping into your innate natural traits to be able to get more of what you want and deserve in a way that's more authentic. So one element of the Art of Feminine Negotiation is what I like to call the A.R.E model. And just think of the simple mnemonic, you are fit to be a great negotiator. A.R.E, F.I.T. So the A is for assertiveness, the R is for rapport building, the E is empathy, F for flexibility, I for intuition, and T for trust. And why did I choose those? Because if you look at the key skill sets that make and mark the most effective negotiators, as I said earlier, 5 out of 6 of those traits are feminine. Rapport building, empathy, flexibility, intuition, and trust. And these are the traits that mark the most effective negotiators. These are skills you already use every day in a myriad of ways and probably just haven't thought of them as negotiating. And even assertiveness, which most people would consider out of those 6 traits to be perhaps the masculine one, even on that I would beg to differ. I think people who see that as a masculine trait are confusing assertive with aggressive, and they're not the same thing. Assertiveness simply means coming from a place of confidence, and confidence comes from knowledge, and knowledge comes from preparation. It's that simple, and we can all do that. In fact, 45% of your success in a negotiation is going to come from your preparation. And this A.R.E model is one of those key steps one of the models that will help you in that preparation to show up better. So whether you're having a negotiation or a discussion with your intimate partner or your kids or going into a business deal, just take a few moments in advance to prepare yourself and consider with intention, what are some things I could do to build rapport with this other person or persons that I'm about to have this discussion or negotiation with? What are a few things I can do to build rapport? What are some areas of commonality that we have? Where are some things that I can tap into to show that I'm interested in them or their life? Something that's going on, some shared experience. Or if I tend, as you can tell, I speak really quickly. If I'm about to chat with somebody who is slower in their pace and likes to take their time thinking, then I can help build rapport by matching my pace, slowing down my pace, not using a high excited tone of voice with somebody who isn't used to that, but matching. These are all simple ways to be able to help build rapport with someone. And empathy, think in advance, what are some ways that I can put myself in the shoes of the other person? And people make the mistake, that doesn't mean you have to agree with their point of view, but at least make an effort to understand. Where are they coming from? What is driving them? What are their motivations? What are those stated needs? But more importantly, what are those unstated needs that lie just under the surface? When you truly try to put yourself in the shoes of someone else, understand their insecurities and those driving forces behind them, then you are way more better equipped to be able to actually turn a negotiation or discussion in a way that is going to best serve everyone. You allow the other person to feel heard, which is going to get you better buy-in. Heck, sometimes let them even think it's their idea. A number of simple strategies when you get really intentional about being empathetic to the position of the other person. It affects how you show up in a way that more positively impacts on the outcomes overall. And be flexible, that flexibility piece. If you go into a negotiation with tunnel vision, thinking that you just want or need to have your needs met, that more competitive or sort of self-centered model, then you're not going to be doing yourself the best service. Be open to other possibilities. Maybe if you think you want this and the other person thinks they want this, if you both come fighting over that, there's either going to be a winner or a loser, or maybe you'll split somewhere in the middle, which people under the traditional model consider a win-win. Splitting the baby isn't necessarily a win-win. What if through these simple models, you came wanting this, I come wanting this, and we were able together, bringing that approach, to come up with even more creative solutions that are better than either of us could have anticipated. So be flexible. And also flexible about how you show up. If you're showing up with a particular style or expected a particular reaction, and suddenly you're being met with something altogether different, be flexible to be able to flow with that a little bit. That will up-level your negotiations. And that I for intuition. Trust your intuition. We've grown away from that. It wasn't that long ago in history, certainly, that First Nations people had such strong intuitive abilities that they could tell when one of their tribe members was coming from days away and be able to follow that path by tapping into that strong, strong intuition. So I invite you to re-tap in and discover your intuition again. If you're in the middle of a negotiation or discussion and you suddenly have an intuition about a direction that you could take, or perhaps a direction you shouldn't go in, or that the person isn't being honest and forthright, or that there's something else that's not being said here, trust in those intuitions. How often have you ignored them or suppressed those, only to find out after, gosh, I just knew something wasn't quite right and I wish I had trusted myself. And trust. Not only trusting in your intuition, but that T for trust, build trust with the other party as well. Always be looking to try and have a relationship where you build that mutual trust, because again, then you're going to allow the other person to open up and let their guard down so that you can both come up with more cooperative and better, more creative solutions. Now, how does that sound as an approach as opposed to always going in looking for the win? Imagine a world where everybody negotiated from this place, not coming from a place of competition just to have your own needs met, but coming from a place of trying to truly understand and meet the needs of others, celebrating, respecting, and recognizing our differences, and trying to find ways to come up with better solutions overall. And the final piece of the puzzle is that A, assertive. We talked about it at the beginning because all of this preparation work is part of getting that confidence and knowledge that you need to show up with the assertiveness, but also when you've used that rapport building, empathy, flexibility, intuition, and trust, be ready to come back and bring that assertive piece back into the mix as well. Where once you know what you want and you need, be ready to stand your ground and be assertive in the knowledge that you've done your preparation and your homework, and just allow yourself to wait to be able to have that deal come together in a way that meets your needs. So if this concept sounds interesting to you, if you recognize the value of learning the art of negotiation, then make sure to reach out to us. Because all of life is a negotiation. So if this is something that you recognize is worth investing in for yourself, because it will help up-level your ability to get more of what you want and deserve, both personally and professionally, or from the boardroom to the bedroom, as I often say, then make sure to reach out to us and check out one of our programs. We have a range of resources available, from free ebooks on a number of the simple models and systems that make up our Art of Feminine Negotiation, to one-on-one intensive mastermind coaching where you get to work personally with me to push past some of those limiting beliefs and conditioning and be able to step into the most empowered version of yourself. So feel free to reach out today so we can book a discovery session and see if you're a fit for one of our programs. Take care.